And we're back here at Citizens Bank Park in South Philadelphia. Kevin McAlpin coming to you for 680 The Fan and the Atlanta Braves Radio Network, getting you set for the Braves and the Phillies. It's game 2 of their 3-game set coming up tonight at 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Max Fried activated off the injured list. He will start tonight, and he'll be opposed by the righty Zach Eflin. We'll tell you all about that and give you a little preview here in just a couple of moments. Braves enter play 61-43. They have a 5.5 game lead over the Nationals, 6.5 game lead over the third place Philadelphia Phillies. But we'll start with the bad news today, and the news that I think a lot of us expected leaving the ballpark here last night. Nick Markakis tests coming back. That left wrist that was hit by a pitch by Cole Irvin in the top of the 6th inning, it is fractured. Nick Markakis is now on the injured list, and he's probably going to miss somewhere between 6 and 8, 6 and 9 weeks, somewhere in that range. So the hope is that Markakis can return at some point in the middle of September. So this does not sound like a season-ending issue, but it does sound like a big-time concern for the Braves when you think about losing your 5th-place hitter and a guy that, as Freddie Freeman said, is really, there's no way to replace a guy like Nick Markakis. He hits 5th in the order, plays gold-gloved caliber defense. The Braves have always had a good next man up mentality, and that will be certainly challenged here with Nick Markakis missing the foreseeable future with a fractured left wrist. He had appeared in 270 consecutive ball games. That was the longest active consecutive games played streak in all of Major League Baseball. Of course, that does come to an end on the season. Markakis hitting .284 with 22 doubles, a couple of triples, and 9 homers. And again, you're losing your number 5 hitter. You also lost your number 2 hitter today, as Dansby Swanson also being placed on the injured list. That right heel contusion hasn't gotten to the point where he's been able to go out and really turn it loose. Snit said yesterday he was still really sore. He was going to probably miss at least another 3 or 4 games. So the smart thing to do is to place Dansby on the IL as well. So they're hoping they can get him back when those 10 days are up. And again, that's retroactive to a couple of days ago. So won't miss a full 10 days from today, but we'll probably miss another 4 or 5 or 6 games when all is said and done. Let's talk about the roster moves today. Of course, as I mentioned, Max Fried coming off the IL. He starts tonight. Adam Duvall also recalled from AAA Gwinnett. Now, of course, Duvall acquired by the Braves in a trade from the Reds last year in the middle of the season. Really couldn't get it done off the bench last year. When you look at the numbers, he appeared in 33 games with the Braves last year, primarily as a reserve off the bench. Just 1 extra base hit in 53 at-bats for Duvall. But the good news, looking at his numbers in AAA this season, how about 94 games with the Stripers in Gwinnett? A .259 average. He has 19 doubles, 3 triples, and get this, 29 home runs for the Stripers this season. That led, of course, the entire ball club, set a franchise record down there at AAA, and they still have a couple of months to go. So Adam Duvall certainly swinging the bats well, and you do expect to see him get regular playing time now with Markakis on the IL. We'll see how the Braves decide to balance things with Riley and Inciarte and Acuna as far as playing time goes. But again, do expect to see Adam Duvall get the bulk of the playing time with Nick Markakis on the injured list. Of course, Adam Duvall was an all-star back in 2016, 30-plus homers in 2016 and 2017 with the Cincinnati Reds. So we'll see what he can do, and stay tuned right here on 680 The Fan and the Braves Radio Network. You will hear from Adam Duvall in just a little while later on here this afternoon when we meet with him before tonight's ball game. Max Fried gets the ball for the Braves tonight, activated off the injured list. 10-4 on the season, a .408 earned run average in 21 appearances. 19 of those have been starts for the Braves here this year. He'll be opposed by Zach Eflin, 7-10 with a .426. But that doesn't tell the whole story of Zach Eflin, and especially him here lately. How about a .938 earned run average over his last 5 starts? He's allowed 7 home runs over his last 24 innings pitched, and we all know how well the ball flies here in South Philadelphia. So the Braves and the Phillies, it's game 2 of their 3-game set coming up tonight. Again, stay with us right here on 680 The Fan and the Braves Radio Network for all the very latest reaction from that clubhouse. I can tell you this much. For a 9-2 winning ball club last night, that was a very solemn locker room last night. Freddie Freeman saying, this is a big gut punch for this team, losing a guy like Nick Markakis, but they carry on. Next man up mentality. This team rallies around things like this when it happened. We saw it when Freddie got hurt with the wrist injury a few years ago, and I don't expect any less from this bunch here in 2019. So again, it's Fried, it's Eflin, it's a 7:05 first pitch right here on The Fan and the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.